late night football show, and basically, I was not going to do a podcast today, and that's why you can see I don't have any guests on. And but a major statement was released by Premier League today, and so it just I had to speak about it, and that was the six clubs from Premier League that were trying to break away from Premier League and were going to join the Super League, which is funny now when you look at the conclusion of the season, because the two clubs from there have not even qualified for top European competitions, for Champions League, and even for Europa League, that matter. Right? It's funny how they decided to just break away from that league and thought they were the elite and wanted to play in their own competition, and thought why anyone would want to see an Arsenal versus Burnley when they could see an Arsenal versus Barcelona. Really? I don't think anyone would really want to see a one-sided thrashing, even though Barcelona themselves are not such in a great place. But but that's for another matter. But so the statement's been released, and it is that 3.3 million pound is the fine that each club from the Premier League has, the top six Premier League clubs have to pay, and the money is going to go to the grassroots football. And that's made me thinking. There is a thing called forgiveness, and then there is a thing called just ignorance, and there's just letting go. This is basically not even acknowledging that something like that ever happened. I know it, the way it occurred, and just the number of days it took to just fall down completely. It is going to erase from our memory. I know it's something that will always be remembered, but I think the amount of time that it took to just uh, for it to just crumble down, it helped in a way to get recover from it fast. And the football, especially after that, coming so thick and fast, it helped in a way that. But all these top six clubs, even Spurs, they have £1 billion stadium, and all of them are capable of just spending 3.3 on academy players. And you are telling me that they have to pay a 3.3 million pound fine for essentially trying to break the football culture, essentially trying to break the football pyramid and sport as we love it. And this is what they're getting. It is not done. Even though I support Manchester City and I love my club, I still think it's just unfair. I mean, the predicament that these clubs put us, because I remember the feeling when came, and it was such a drastic moment for all of us, and it felt like we just lost this love for our clubs and the game, and you are just erasing all that with the fine of 3.3 million pound. It's just not done. It's too less. I mean, I know they have said that fines would be bigger if someone in the future tries to do it again, but I think I don't think this is a good step in any way, because I know how these clubs have this leverage, and they are one of the big reasons why Premier League is such a big attraction for everyone around the world. I mean, they essentially are the ones who get the viewership, but you cannot be above the game itself. You cannot. The game is the biggest thing, and then comes the clubs, and then comes the football, and then comes the players, and then comes the managers, and at the bottom of the barrel is the owners. Really, they are not the owners. They should not be called owners in my way. They are custodians of all these clubs, and that's what they are. I mean, I know some are very grateful, just like us. I mean, Sheikh Mansour, we can have asked for better owner, really, and even Chelsea for that matter with Abramovich, but they they missed just this in a big way. I mean, I know they were the last ones to go into this, and they were trying to get out of it quickly when they realized. And now they have come up with they're trying to redeem themselves. Chelsea is, I think, in a way have already, City in a way have big, both these clubs have had huge successful seasons, but and now they have come up with this fan placement in a big major decision regarding the clubs and all the situations, representation of fans. It's a great step, really. But 3.3, when I heard this, I don't know, is it me or, but it's just too less, because it was essentially when you try to kill someone, but you just couldn't. I mean, does that make you not does that make you less of a guilty? And even that much that you are not even consider that that you were trying to commit a big crime, because it was a crime. Do not get it wrong in any way. It was a huge crime against football. I know people, there are people who think that it was a great idea. I don't know who these people are, but it was not. It was no, in no way it was a great idea. And it was a shambolic idea. It was one of the worst things that I have ever witnessed in all my time watching football. Really, it just, I have never felt like this, even with the biggest losses, even with the Champions League loss. I mean, it was a sad day for 2 3 days, and it will always be like there with regret. But I remember the time when it was announced, you just felt like it. I heard a lot of people say this, and it's totally true that it was like a friend has died. And because football is such a huge part in our lives, it is essentially our lifestyle, how our lives around revolve around it. It was really damaging, and I don't know how it could have, what would have been if it all went through. But so I'll just say this, that in my opinion, it is too less of a fine, and it's too just letting, it's just basically ignoring it, that ever a thing called Super League ever happened. And I think a bit more could be done. I mean, grassroots football, not just in England, all over the world, could have been used in a much better way. And because all these clubs have resources, these these clubs, 3.3 million pounds for them is nothing. Chelsea are going for all these big names. City are linked with Hall and sorry, Kane and Grealish, and United is gonna go for Sancho for 90 million pound, and you're saying you finding them 3 million three for essentially killing the game. I don't know how is that fair.